This is how I went from zero sales experience to being the top rookie in my company by knocking on doors. So a lot of people think the fastest way to become like a top rookie or to become the top door-to-door salesman in their company is just by knocking on doors. The more doors you knock, the more sales you get. And while that is true for, a lot of the vets, for rookies, I feel like there's better places to start. And, for me, I kind of needed to set myself up for success because I didn't really have another option. So going into this job, about a month before is when I found out that I was going to knock on doors this summer. Well, a lot of the other rookies, when they find out they got hired or they're going to do door-to-door sales, they're off telling their friends, I'm going to make $40,000 this summer. I'm going to make 50. I'm going to sell this amount. That wasn't me. I kept to myself. I didn't tell my friends my goals. Instead, what I did to set myself up for success is I did my training. So I spent my first month doing an hour, 2 hours of training every single day. I was watching YouTube videos. I was watching podcasts. I was doing notes. I was doing everything I could to set myself up for that first day of knocking on doors. And it went to show, I went to the first correlation that we held the first morning and I felt prepared. I've watched the top guys in my company go out and sell. I've done all my training. I didn't feel like I didn't belong there. And that went to show. My first day, I sold my first ever account. And in my second day, I went out and sold 3. In my first week, I sold 11 accounts and I was a top rookie in the company. And I felt very cocky, I felt like I was the best and I felt like sales was going to be really easy. That's one thing about door-to-door sales is no matter how good you are, you will be humbled. And I went out my second week and I got humbled. Monday, Tuesday, I bageled. I think I ended up my second week with about 4 sales. And that was kind of one thing that my managers would always tell me is don't ride the highs too high and don't ride the lows too low. But I didn't really listen. So I went out my third week. I think I had my first 5 day that week and I sold 13 accounts. I did the same thing. I rode my high way too high. I got cocky and go out my 4th week. I think I bageled 5 out of the 7 or 6 days that I knocked. I think I maybe sold 2 and 2 on 2 days and I ended up with 4 sales. And this started to become kind of a reoccurring issue. I'd go out and I'd have a big week and then I'd go out the next week and bagel or do low numbers. And I kind of realized that about 8 weeks into my season is I was riding these highs way too high, being super cocky, and then I'd go out and I wouldn't sell for a week and I would get very down on myself and I wouldn't think I'm good and I wouldn't think that this job would work out for me. Now, the changing moment for me was my first 7 day. So I remember we were in competition. It was a Friday and we were losing this competition. It was an office-wide competition. And our top producers in the office, they weren't having a good day. I did finish that day number 1 in our office. And that kind of changed my mindset on everything because that week I probably ended up with about 15 sales. But even though I had the biggest day of our office that entire week, I still didn't finish first on the week. And that's where my mindset flipped. It's not about going out and it's not about making 10, 12 sales a day and then bageling the next day and then going out and doing 8 and then bageling 2 days. It's about those reps that go out and consistently sell 5, 6, 7 sales a week. Those are the reps that finish with the highest numbers throughout the season. And the biggest change for me to going from, high week to low week to high week to low week is I started believing. I believed in myself, but I also believed in the service that you offer. And that's what changed me from going, 5 week to 15 week, back down to 4 week. Instead, I didn't bagel the entire rest of the season, and I didn't have a week below like 7 sales. And I think, a lot of people go out and they don't believe that there's one person that will buy. For me, again, with this mindset change going into my 9th week, it was believing in myself, believing in the service, but also believing that no matter what, no matter if you're knocking the worst area, if you're knocking the best area, no matter if you believe nobody's home, no matter if you believe there's no bugs or nobody that wants solar, whatever it is, there is always one green. Every single day, my manager told me this, and once he told me this, my mindset changed. Every single day, you talk to one green. You talk to one person that will buy. They may be the biggest red ever. You could say one thing that'll change their mind and they will buy from you. Whether it's for the service, whether it's for you, there's always one thing that will change somebody's mind to buy this product or service. And so if you're a rookie that's going into next summer and thinking about doing door-to-door sales, I think the biggest things to take away from this video is you need to believe in yourself. No matter if you're on the biggest high ever or if you're on the biggest low and you've just bageled 3 days in a row, you will sell. You need to believe in your service. If you don't believe in your service, how do you expect other people to believe in it? If you can't believe in what you're selling, the product or the service that you're offering, people can read your energy. People will know that you don't believe in this and they won't buy from you. But if somebody who goes up to their door, exact same product or service, and they believe in it, people will realize that, hey man, this guy believes in his service, he believes in what he's offering, let's give this guy a shot. And the biggest thing, always remember, consistency will beat talent. So that 5 sales every single day will beat the guy that goes out and does 12 and then bagels 2 days because he doesn't knock. Consistency will always beat talent.